How's it going, guys? Today I'm doing the F4 US Championship winning Wednesday. My name's Austin Kasbua. I've raced F4 US Championship for 3 years now, and today I'm sitting here at the race shop, and I'm going to answer some questions for you guys just about, I guess pretty much whatever you want to know. So I guess to start off, I'll give you a little background on me. First and foremost, I've raced F4 US Championship for 3 years now, and my background as far as getting into racing F4, beforehand I raced motorcycles growing up, motocross, and I didn't start karting until I was 17 years old. I was a senior in high school. I was pretty old, actually, so got a little bit of a late start, but did karting for about 2.5, 3 years, and then went and made the jump to racing F4. So like I said, we've been doing that for, I say 3 years, I guess 3 seasons now. So with that said, now you know a little bit about my background. I'll get into some of the questions that you guys have submitted on social media. Let's see what we got here. So the first one's from Gregory Vargas. Why are you such a good-looking kid, and have you ever looked into modeling? Okay, sorry if I'm blushing right now, Greg. That was a little more than I was expecting from you. But no, I've never looked into modeling, actually. But I mean, now that you mention it, maybe I'll take a look at it. But on to the next question from Joshua Carr on Facebook. How's your neck muscles after a day at testing at Crescent? Okay, so that's a little bit of an inside thing between me and Josh. Josh is my teammate, and we tested Crescent a lot, and that's just basically we've had a lot of conversations about how at Crescent versus any other track, for whatever reason, Crescent just kind of being a club track, our necks are always crazy sore from 2 days of testing there, compared to, pretty much any other track we race. It's seems to be, for whatever reason, the most physically demanding. So I guess it's like a little inside joke between us. So the next question is going to come from Derek Ware 98 on Instagram. What went through your head when you realized you just took your first podium in a professional race in your first season, and did it come sooner than you thought? It was definitely, it was a great feeling, and it came way sooner than I expected, actually. I mentioned a little earlier, I didn't have a real long career in karting, and by the time, what's going on, Mike? By the time I got into, where I was actually pretty competitive in it, I never actually got to, I guess, feel like I get to my full potential, what I feel like I could have done in karting. So I never had any national wins or national podiums or anything like that. So going into racing cars, obviously I didn't expect that either. So it was my first race in the car. We did all right, and then we came into the next round at Mid-Ohio, I think it was, and we qualified second and ended up on the podium that weekend. So it was really cool to experience that, so soon into my car racing career. So take some questions right here from Amy. What is your gym or physical fitness routine like? Okay, so I will admit it's not as much a routine. With school and all that kind of stuff, it's a bit difficult to stay in a routine. So actually I keep my mountain bike in my car, and that's one of the main things I do cardio wise. So whenever I have a chance to stop in, or am going by a trail or happen to be out this way or whatever, I kind of go whenever I can, but it usually ends up being a couple times a week. And then obviously going to the gym, that's kind of, everybody says that, I guess it's expected, everybody kind of goes and lifts weights and that kind of deal. But I do some different things, more specialized, I guess, than, just going and, leg day, arm day, whatever, people do, working the neck and obviously emphasizing on the core and that kind of thing. But on to another question here. Let's see, we'll do this one from Esther Cruz. Hey Austin, this question is for my son Adrian Cruz. He's been racing since he was 5 and is now 13 and wants to know what advice you can give him as a karting driver that one day would like to be an F4 driver. So that's a really, really good question, actually. And I wish I could offer more insight on that, but in reality, obviously I know Adrian and I've seen him at the kart track a lot, and he does really well, and just basically keep doing what you're doing and work on, being consistent and staying out of the carnage and that kind of thing, and, learn to race clean. I know it's kind of difficult in go-kart sometimes because, some of the carnage that goes on at big races and stuff, but if you can learn to race clean and still be at the front, that literally pays when you get into cars. Obviously crash damage and that kind of thing is so expensive, and that can really honestly make or break how long you're racing cars. So that's I guess my biggest piece of advice would be definitely learn how to be up the front and race clean, and even though it's just a go-kart, emphasize on always bringing it home. That would be my biggest piece of advice. So we get to another question here. This one's from Noel sees Noel knows on Instagram. Can someone join F4 with no karting experience? The answer is yes. And I say that coming from you could jump into F4 if you have other car experience, but it would be a difficult jump if you have no racing experience at all. That's one thing I probably wouldn't recommend, but you don't necessarily have to have karting experience. Yes, to answer your question, you could go into F4 without karting experience, but you would definitely want car experience, in my opinion. Obviously, to be competitive, and which everybody wants to do. So, all right. So from Sland77 on Instagram, how did you join the league? Assuming he's talking about F4. I don't belong to any other leagues per se, so I'm assuming he's talking about F4. But there really wasn't a particular process or anything I had to go through. It was just at the time an opportunity came along to do F4, and it was a new thing, and we just basically found a team and jumped into it, and that was in my opinion the best way to do it. Don't overthink it, just get in and start learning, and so get on to the next question here from Instagram. Ooh, I'm not sure who this one's from, but it's asked, what is the hardest thing you've experienced in F4? That's a tough one, because it is there's a lot of difficult things about it, not in a bad way, but as far as it's very competitive, and you have to always be on your game, otherwise there's somebody else that is, and they're gonna finish above you, and it's definitely the biggest thing for me is kind of having to had lots of I don't even want to say issues, just little things that on a driver level that you see within yourself and stuff. You're kind of okay, we're gonna overcome that. So it's just a lot of little obstacles within myself that working towards being better every weekend, and obviously want to do well so bad. It's it can be easy to kind of get lost and get discouraged or whatever. So that's you got to kind of remind yourself how competitive it is, and keep pushing forward. And it was nice with our last race, finally finishing on the podium for the first time this year. It was a confidence boost. Okay, cool. All this that we've been working on is paying off now. So sorry if my hand's a little shaky. I'm doing this on my phone, so I apologize for that. But let's see what else we have for questions here. From Snapchat. You have a great smile. Did you ever have braces, or are your teeth naturally that straight? Coming from someone with braces, I'm curious if you did have braces and how what's that say? Did your helmet ever squeeze or hit your mouth or cut into your lips? So when I did have braces, I was actually racing dirt bikes. So I did have a couple issues where I did have a couple issues where, like, like in a helmet, like my braces cut my mouth and a few things like that. But never had to experience that in a car. But yes, I did have braces, I guess, to answer your question. And no, like, I never bugged me in a car, but yes, when I was racing dirt bikes. Okay, so I'll take this one from, Michael Goodyear. What's going on, Michael? Who is your favorite teammate, past or present? That's a loaded question, Michael. I obviously have to say you because you asked it, but no, it genuinely, yeah, like Michael has been was I spent a lot of time with Michael up in Indianapolis, my first year racing F4, so we grew to actually know each other really well, and he's become like a really good friend. So yeah, I'd have to say Michael, probably my favorite teammate so far. So I'll take this next question from Mike Harding. Obviously F1 is the pinnacle and overall goal, but would you ever consider something like GT3 sports car endurance prototypes to use stepping stone, or is that not a proper channel to the top? So I guess, yeah, F1 is the pinnacle, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily my goal. And yes, I would consider something like GT3 or sports car. I love endurance racing. I've been around endurance racing a lot, so that's something that I am very passionate about. And ultimately, I guess in the U.S. and racing open, well, everybody kind of wants to end up in IndyCar. But I mean, I would definitely enjoy racing sports cars and doing endurance stuff. I have a large passion for that. So definitely something I would love to do in the future. Wouldn't complain one bit. So let's see what else I have here. Okay, sorry, I'm kind of getting lost here. I wasn't thinking ahead of time when I had these questions, and all I had was my phone and had my laptop, so I ended up having to steal one of the guys here at the shop's phone and take pictures of all the questions you guys put on social media. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't let his phone lock and not have to go ask him. That'd be a little weird. So this is one from Donovan Warren from Instagram. Can we meet sometime? Definitely. So this one really cool thing about F4 is that the paddock's really accessible, and one of the cool things about all the F4 drivers and stuff, they're all really nice and friendly. So yeah, any time you're able to come to a race, for sure, stop by, man. We'll have a good chat, I'm sure. And let me see what else I have here. Hold on, I'm getting lost in all these. I'm swiping back and forth in pictures and stuff. So hold on. This is another one from Greg. The next time you get on the podium, will you celebrate by doing the Block Boy, JB, or Backpack Kid? I'm going to be honest. None of those were on the top of my list of celebratory activities, but all good ideas. Definitely all good ideas. And I'm not really sure what Backpack Kid is or Block Boy. I'm assuming that was before my time, but I'll give him a break on that one. Let's see what else we have here. Here's one from Baltazar. Baltazar Luguizman. He races F3 currently. He also wants to know which one of my former F4 teammates is the best ever. So I mean, unfortunately, I already said Michael Balta, so I can't show you love there. But definitely can come in at like a second best or best South American teammate, other than my current South American teammate. So I'm doing a lot of juggling here with the teammate love. So I apologize to you guys for that. But here's one from Gabe on Instagram. What inspired you to be a race car driver? That's an interesting question that I feel like is really basic, but in a way kind of hard to answer. Just because kind of been exposed to it my whole life, and there was, it was never like a time where I was, like it hit me one day. I was like, man, I'm so, that's the reason I want to be a race car driver. But I definitely have always envied, drivers growing up, and it's always been something that I really wanted to do and really wanted to pursue. But through my younger years, I obviously took, the direction of I was racing motocross. So those were the kind of things that I was more into at the time. But I always was still interested in auto racing, and always still kind of followed it. But it wasn't like my main interest until like probably, I would say, sophomore year in high school. I started kind of getting more into the car stuff. Obviously I was still racing motocross, and it was just wasn't like my first thing. I still really enjoyed it, but it just kind of wasn't what I did. So I didn't necessarily like put too much interest in it. But pretty much, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm going down a rabbit trail here, but I'm going to answer this Mike's question here. How do you stay focused and hold off all the flocking pretty young things around you at the track? Do they increase as you hit F2 and F3? Well, unfortunately, it's not really that way. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would like it to be that way, but unfortunately it's not. And do they increase as you hit F3, F2? I'm not sure. Hopefully I'll find out next year and the year after that. I mean, I say hopefully in the way that everybody around me, I'm not single, so I can't, I gotta be a little careful what I say here. So, but yeah, no, definitely not the rock star lifestyle girls chasing after you. But would be nice, I guess, if I was single or however, But let's see what else here. So Amy's asking, how do I balance work, school, and racing? That's a tough one. Like I definitely wish all three were kind of combined into one. That'd be nice, obviously. But as far as like work, school, and racing, I mean, whenever I'm at school or not racing, obviously, I still have to support myself. So I do little part-time stuff here and there, whether that's wrapping F4 cars or whatever. I definitely am always working like little part-time jobs, and then obviously I'm in school full-time. So that is a little, it's quite a lot to balance, but it's manageable when you enjoy what you're doing. So it's not bad. I enjoy school, I enjoy racing, so it's all kind of water under the bridge. It's just how much you just definitely have to be disciplined on those things. So yeah. What's going on, Tony? It's good to see you guys. Haven't seen them in a while. Tony's a good friend that we have out at the karting track, so it's good to see those guys as well. Hold on here, I got check something real fast. Oh, whoops, sorry. Let me see what else we have here. Oops, having technical difficulties again. Oh well. But anyways, so time being, I don't really see any other questions here. So basically, if you guys want, I'll give you a little tour of our shop here. It's not real big, but it's definitely got some character. Got the bar here that is well utilized by all the guys on Saturday. It's good fun. We got like couches and jukeboxes. Guys are always listening to classic music and stuff on Saturdays after all the work's done. There's always a bunch of people here. It's a fun place. So got kind of the wall of fame here. Goes back through karting, some good crash damage and stuff. It's always good memorabilia. But yeah, hoping to have to get a bigger memorabilia wall soon. But got the trophy cart hanging on the wall, obviously. Got our car sitting here. It's on the land speed record wheels. Just kidding. Those are actually just roller wheels, so it fits through the front door over there. But yeah, so this is my teammate Josh's car. It's we're doing some work on that right now, but this is where the madness goes down, if I could, to say the least. It's good fun happens right here. So this is probably my favorite part of the whole shop. We play a lot of ping pong around here, and it's an absolute blast. So cool tidbit over here. Got the 1989 Leighton House F1 car. So it's looking to sit in that thing one day. That'll be fun. Hopefully, if I ever get the opportunity, that'd be amazing. But yeah, so it's not real big, but does what it's supposed to. We spend a lot of time here, whether it's, out here working on cars or different things or hanging out. It's got a great group of guys out here in Dallas, and it's always something fun going on around here. So it's a nice place to be. But anyways, doesn't look like we have really any more questions coming in. So I guess on that note, we go ahead and wrap it up. So I really appreciate you guys. Oh, sorry. I completely forgot. I forgot about the hat. I'm sorry. So it looks like Esther Cruz is the winner of the hat. So I can actually personally deliver it to you if you'd like, Esther. I'm sure I'll see you very soon. So I'm sorry, I forgot that one. But yeah, anyways, I really appreciate all you guys tuning in, and I appreciate all the questions from everybody. So yeah, definitely follow us at our next race. Again, I race for Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport, and we're going to be racing. I think our next race is, I shouldn't say I think, I know our next race is New Jersey in middle of September. I'm terrible with dates, but yeah, so definitely follow us, Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports. Again, my name's Austin Kasbua, and yeah, look for us at the next race. So I hope all you guys have a great day, and again, I appreciate the questions, so thank you.